It's just a man. What the bird is barbecuing.
G'day jabronis, it is the Verd back with you again. I apologise for this being one late and me sounding terrible. Spring has arrived in Australia and it's hit me like a ton of bricks. So I haven't really felt like recording, but I need to. Also, I had my birthday recently, so I was just kind of busy, all that stuff, so I haven't really had a chance to actually sit down and do mods for a bit. So it felt kind of good to actually do it. We had a week 1 match for the MPL Tampa Frogadiers here up against the Maine Red Clawitzers. And my boy Tone. I really like Tone, he's a good guy. And this team, honestly, like the way I built this team was kind of funny. Normally I have super balanced teams, but this one literally just had one main purpose. It was to leave with Sash Scully, weaken something on his team down, send in Carving to get up dual screens, go into Togekiss, set up a nasty block, baton pass out to Manaphy, go for the Z rain dance, and clean. That was realistically that was what I was trying to do. So basically the team is Sash Scully, but I messed it up. I accidentally told my Jenna to make it Poison Point, and I meant for it to be Speed Boost, so great start already. We got a Scarf Drill, we got sub 3 attack Hooper with Focus Punch because I don't like Aggron or Snorlax. Then we got a Z Rain Dance Manaphy, the Nasty Plot Baton past Togekiss, and dual screens Carving. So Tone seems pretty much exactly what I was expecting it to be. Just 6 absolute juggernauts. Taunting is going to be a bit of an issue for my team to deal with. Like I have Togekiss, Carving, and Drill, but you know it's still a Taunt. Primarina is always annoying. Aggron's an Aggron. Arcanine not too bad. I can always deal with that. Weavile was a little bit spooky, but I had Scarf Drill as well as Scully to kind of pressure it, and I also have Yachi on my Togekiss to kind of deal with it. And then Latios is just kind of Latios, you know. It's able to be dealt with by my team. So without further ado, we're going to jump in. Like I said, my main plan was just leading Scully because I could just Rock Slide. If you led Taunt, I could Mega Horde because I was sashed. I could just go for whatever I wanted to do. So I lead Scully, which is really good. And he is going to end up leading with his Tornadus, which is perfect. I was like, okay, I can just go for a Rock Slide on whatever he does, and I can, you know, outspeed him on the next turn. So it's all good. So you guys were taunting it out and get him a set of spikes and stuff. I was like, nah, man, just going to go straight for the Rock Slide, and I'm able to miss because why not? And then it occurs to me that I'm Poison Point here as it goes for Hurricane. If we were able to outspeed, we would have done, as you'll see from this damage here, a ridiculous amount. But unfortunately, because I'm stupid, that's not going to happen. He gets the confusion with Hurricane. That's going to be a common theme, as you'll see through this this game. But regardless, we're going to hit Rock Slide. As you see, if we hit the first one, that would have been a dead Taunt by now. It would have forced a switch out, which would have been really good. But at this point, what I decided to do is, I know he's probably just going to U-turn or something, so I decided to go to my Drill. I figure he's not going to Hurricane, he's just going to U-turn here, and I can kind of just gauge what he wants his Drill switch in to be at this point. Since he doesn't really have that many Drill checks on his team in general, so just kind of wanted to see what he wanted to do in this situation. So he goes out to Arcanine, which is, it's alright, like Arcanine's a solid Pokemon. But obviously I've got a couple of ways of checking this thing. Main way is just going hard out to my Carving. I don't know if Tone's going to be bringing the Iron Head for Carving, if you expected Carving to even be here. So I go into my Gigalith. Can't really do that voice right now, unfortunately, because I'm so blocked up my nose, but he's going to Blitz. It does literally 0. I chew that. And I decided the thing I want to do most here on this turn is getting up my Stealth Rocks. They are super important in this matchup. With Weavile and Tornadus and other things lurking around, he's going to go with his Aggron, so I do allow his Aggron to get a free Mega off, which kind of sucks, but at the same time it's okay in the long run. Now you're going to see like a series of Don plays, because this is just how I do, boys. So I'm going to predict the Steel move and go from my Carving out to my Manaphy, the Rainmaker. And he is going to Mega Evolve and all that jazz. My basic plan was to force it into a Steel move, and then with Manaphy being in, force him out to Primarina, so I can go out to my what do you call it? He goes to EQ, so that's fair enough. It shouldn't do too much because I am still quite a bulky Manaphy. As you see, it doesn't do like a huge amount. Sorry, my nose is terrible right now. So I predict him here to want to go out to Primarina because that will be probably his Manaphy check. So I go out to Hooper because I know that Hooper can outspeed and will be able to pressure the Primarina, as he does choose to go out to Prim here. this was in a really good spot. I was interested by his next play, I suppose, because like he didn't know that I had gunshot. He didn't like know that was what I was going to click. But he decides to go hard out to Arcanine. Now, if I'm especially offensive Hooper, that's going to get dropped. So I guess maybe he was just choosing Arcanine as a sack here, which is fair enough, I suppose, because I didn't bring Zard. I guess that it makes more sense for him to sack this, but I'm going to choose the sub here because I know that I probably outspeed this Arcanine, depending on what his spread is. But regardless, I can just drop a Focus Punch on him, and even at -1 attack, Focus Punch from a base 160 attack Hooper is going to do a ton. So I am tightening my focus. He is going to be able to break my sub with the Flare Blitz, which is absolutely fine. He'll take even more recoil, which is completely fine by me. I do not mind that at all. And he does fade my sub, but he's going to take that little bit of chip, that nice chunky chip damage. And I'm going to go straight for the Focus Punch here. This is a -1 Focus Punch, but Hooper does not give a damn so much. Lord. God, my nose is just killing me. So I decided this turn, there's no reason to risk my Hooper being slower than the Arcanine, so I'm just going to go out into my Carbon again. Because at this point, he is going to try and sack off his Arcanine. And I said, well, the best case scenario for me on this turn is if the Arcanine actually lives the Flare Blitz recoil, because then I get up a free Reflect as he dies, which would be pretty ideal. So, yeah, actually, that's exactly how it turns out, which is awesome. I'm pretty confident I click Reflect on this turn. I was tossing up between Reflect and Light Screen on this turn as to what I wanted to lock myself into when it came to certain moves. But I do choose to go for Reflect, mainly because if the aggro comes in again, it means that Manaphy can deal with it better, but Toad makes a really good read here. Just in general, with the way the match was going, it goes into Prim. I could have preserved Carving, but honestly done its job. Rocks were up, Reflect was up, so I was feeling pretty confident about most of his team. So I decided to go for Light Screen here, just in case maybe he tries to Move Blast to predict Hooper coming in, but he doesn't make that play, so Carving is going to go down, which is kind of unfortunate, but it's okay. Gigalith did its job. And what I can do now is go out to my Scolipede again, and basically I'm going to bait him. He's going to fear the Poison Jab, and I'm just going to it's not really that much of a bait. Even if I'd Poison Jab and he went into aggro, this would have been fine. But Toad admitted that he completely forgot that Scolipede gets Endeavor. And as you're going to see here, obviously my play is to click the Endeavor, because it would have brought... it would have been cool, it would have weakened the Prim anyway, to the point where Manaphy could have been a real big threat for him, regardless, especially with the Z-Rain Dance. So I think that regardless of whether I predicted that or not, it worked out fine though. Scully gets his kill. Would have been really good if I had Speed Boost right now, but I don't. As Torn's going to come out, and this is where the kind of hilarity ensues. I decided to sack Scully. This thing could have been dead already to Scully, but I decided to sack it here. He goes for a U-turn. And as you're going to see, my Poison Point is going to activate. And we're going to poison the Torn, which was a sick meme. It was pretty funny at the time. I didn't really expect it to happen. Now, on this turn, I kind of make a bit of a misplay. He goes out to Latios, and what I should have done is go out to my Extra Drill, because Latios can't really touch Drill. But I make the mistake of going out. What I actually should have done here, I got to Togekiss, and what I should have done on this turn was go on Hard Drill, but I decided to go for a Nasty Plot on the off chance he only has like Psyshock and the other Thunderbolt. So this is bad for me. I basically just wasted a turn and wasted my Togekiss in this matchup. Clicking Plot, I could have gone hard out to Drill to scout what he had and then played around it that way because I was scarfed, so that was stupid by me. So as you can see, I'm basically wasting a turn because I do choose to do that play next turn. I go out to my Drill, as obviously he's just going to Thunderbolt again because they have Mold Breaker. Obviously he has to be wary of the Earthquake being able to hit him here, but he does have the Taunt in the back, so I actually decided just to go for the Iron Head because either it'll flinch and kill the Latios, or it'll put it in range of Manaphy sweeping. Like I said, it is one of the big win cods right now, is Manaphy getting up the Z-Rain Dance and just cleaning up my opponent's team. My Reflect goes away. I completely forgot that was up because he kept using special attackers. But I'm just going to Iron Head again and knock out this Latios. So Drill getting its first kill of the season. Not bad. So Skull's going to kill, Drill's going to kill, and technically Arcanine dies with recoil. So yeah, Taunt's going to come in. And at this point, because rocks aren't up anymore, this is not going to be able to survive. I have to choose to sack off my Togekiss here. Just to scout as well if he has the Superpower or Heat Wave. He does have the Heat Wave, so kind of just want to go Togekiss in case he had like the Focus Blast or the Superpower, because then I could, do something against it. But this is still good because it's going to wear him down a bit with Toxic, which is super important for me in this matchup. As he's going to drop another Heat Wave. his only way of winning is like the constant regenerator health back with Torn, which kind of sucks because like, if I had been correct with my genning and like also had not missed that rock slide earlier, I could have really pressured this Torn a lot more earlier in the game, and it would be able to just come in and pick things off. So that's kind of unfortunate. But Drill coming out, I know he's in range of Iron Head, so he has to switch out this turn. And he goes up to his Weavile and sacks it. So Weavile's a huge threat, so the fact that he sacked this Mon is quite good for me. Because I didn't really want to have to deal with it. So Weavile gets absolutely obliterated here, gets knocked the fuck out. So that's really good for us. We're in a really strong spot. All he has left out is the Primarina and the Tornado. So I make a really aggressive play here, but it works out for me. There's no reason to risk my Windcon and Drill, so I go hard out to Hooper. Because I figure his best play here is to Scald. So Hooper gets to come in and he does go for Scald. I'm like, okay, as long as it doesn't burn, we're fine. Even if it did burn, we were still fine because I knew that my Manaphy could take a hit from Prim if required. And after Hooper's burned Gunk Shot, it puts Prim in range of Energy Ball. And then I can go for the Z Water move against Torn. And then I could just knock out Torn with Drill. But obviously I don't get burned. So I can knock out this Prim with the Gunk Shot as Prim does go down. So that leaves just one Pokemon left in his team, and that is the Tornadus. Now, for differential purposes, what I could have done on this next turn is I could have gone hard out to Drill. But in my mind, there was no reason to risk the game on a potential prediction. I go for Ice Punch here, just in case maybe he wants to try and Heat Wave pretty Drill, because that's his only real chance of winning at this point. Because what I'll just do here is go into Manaphy. I just want to secure that Torn is in range of Iron Head, so I can go into Manaphy here and just put my Z Water move, because that'll either kill Torn or put it in range and just secure the victory. The only thing that can really save him here is if he had bulk investment on Torn, he went for the Hurricane, was able to confuse my Manaphy, and then Manaphy hit itself in confusion. Funny how I mentioned that, guys, because as you see, not only does he hit another Hurricane, he gets the confusion again, and I hit myself in confusion. I went for a Z Scald there, would have done enough damage to Torn to easily put it in Iron Head range. So now I'm a bit like iffy, like, oh god, what's going to happen here? He goes for Heat Wave, that knocks me out, so I missed one Rock Slide, and he never misses a move, so that was kind of crazy in this game. But luckily, I was counting my Toxic turns, counting the HP, and because I am an Adamant Excadrill, I am fully confident from damage I've done earlier with other mons that this is going to be able to knock out the Tornadus, and so luckily Iron Head is not a move that can miss. He's not running Briar Powder, so I can just go straight for that Iron Head, connect on the Torn, and take it down, and we get the Week 1 W. A very close game, a very enjoyable game. I really do apologize again for the quality of this video. It's not going to be the greatest, guys. In the future, when I have a bit more time to repair and whatnot, I'm not feeling absolutely terrible, it'll be a much better quality, but at the end of the day, we do get the win. Tampa Frogadiers currently 1-0 in the Major PL. Pretty excited about that. Cool mods today. Well, we got 2 for Hooper, 2 for Drill, 1 for Scully, and then 1 to Recoil from Arcanine. I don't know if that's going to counter Karmic, but Hooper and Excadrill getting their kills off to a great start. Manaphy probably deserved to get another kill, but unfortunately missed out on that opportunity. So, really good game from Toad. Go check him out, guys. He's a really good guy. But we start our season off strong. We get that win. Next week we have Deebs. I forget the name of his team, but I'm pretty excited to play him. He seems like a pretty chill guy. So that's going to do it for me, guys. Like I said, Tampa Frogadiers, we get our win for the start of the Major PO, and we go 1-0. So let's see if we can continue this good run. And I'm the Bird. I'm feeling terrible, and I'm out of switch.